Ask it to yourself. Ask yourself questions about life, about love, about yourself. When you feel the time has come to isolate yourself from the chaos that surrounds you, when you feel the need to get the answers you are looking for, ask it to yourself, because universal knowledge resides in you. But above all, the knowledge of yourself. You and only you know what is best for you, intimately, deeply. So ask it to who will surely be able to give you the right answers for you. Ask it to yourself, but never be ashamed of the answer, because even if it may seem embarrassing or strange to you in the eyes of friends and society, it is certainly the most correct answer for life, and its complicated but highly refined balances. Remember that you can be alone in the chaos. You can answer 1,000 questions but not get the answer, and you can live without being in love but being full of love. Ask it to yourself, but with an open heart, and everything will fall into place.
We are parts of one universe, true enough. We stand within an almost infinite network of relationships, yet each of us is a single point of consciousness, a unique event, a private, unrepeatable world. This is the essence of our loneliness. Nathaniel Branden. We could summarize the introductory quote as being surrounded by nothing or emptiness. There are some important considerations to make. That emptiness is a feeling and not a fact, because there are other people and living creatures besides us. We therefore talk of mental or situational emptiness, which respectively occur when our ideas and perceptions do not coincide with those of other people and we feel misunderstood. When, especially in times of need, we do not find availability in the people we would like to have next to us at that moment, and we feel abandoned. In both cases, we must keep in mind some things. Others, just like us, have their own ideas and perception and do not necessarily have to coincide with ours. Indeed, in diversity, there is an opportunity for growth and improvement. It may happen that at a precise moment, that particular person has things to do and is therefore not available to us. But it does not mean that it is not at all. Moreover, just like us, it has its own life and is not dependent on us. It would not be fair and human if that were the case. So what do we do with the emptiness we perceive? We could refer to physics without going into technical, because it is not my subject, but simply to remind us that it is in the void that extraordinary things happen, and that the void is not really empty, but it appears so because we cannot see it. Think of the Big Bang, the Higgs boson, the interaction between matter and antimatter. Everything happens in a vacuum, void, or what we call vacuum, but which is not the case. The void, emptiness, is the opportunity to evolve. Now let's look at these two quotations, apparently opposed, on the contrasting element, at least in appearance, chaos. Scarlett Johansson in the movie Lucy said, "Ignorance creates chaos, not knowledge." Paul Carl Feyerabend instead said, "Without chaos there is no knowledge. Without frequent renunciation of reason there is no progress." Both talk about chaos, but the references are different. The quote from the film, the movie, refers to social chaos, and Feyerabend's to mental chaos. It is this last to give us a clue in the second part, talking about the renunciation of reason in order to progress. But be careful not to get confused, because here we talk about being right. In the movie, in fact, we intend to follow one's own ideas and instinct without there being a rationality, a reasoning resulting from in-depth study, experience, comparison, but simply to go. This will only create chaos, confusion. In the second quote, on the other hand, we talk about turbulence, chaos, which are created when we are alone and we experience the feeling of emptiness. Here we should let go of thoughts without necessarily wanting to orient them as we believe it's right, but we must let the potential free so that it can create new ideas for us to progress and evolve. So we have others or social chaos to transmit stimuli that we transform into data in the form of mental chaos, and that we will analyze in the void and then let our brain create new progressive ideas that can be reused in the social chaos, which begins to be less and less chaotic and more a laboratory of personal experience and responsible sharing.
Do we ask ourselves enough questions in life? But above all, do we take the right time to give us answers? If so, what questions do we ask ourselves and what answer do we give ourselves? Do we ever wonder what we are doing on earth? What is the meaning of our life? What if the choices made so far are the right ones to make our dreams come true? Do we have dreams? What dreams do we have? How important is for us to dream, and what importance do dreams have for the life of every human being? Is there a possibility that life as we know it is not real? What is more real to us? What we can touch or what we can imagine? Are the thoughts real? For many people, taking the time to ask these questions is just a waste of time. With all the problems that exist in the world and in our daily life in general, there is no time for this nonsense. So I would like you to answer these questions. Why, even those who have everything that could be materially desired, often feel a sense of lack? What if problems in the world and in life in general stem from the fact that no one asks itself those questions anymore? What time would we waste stopping to ask? And what solution to the world evils would we no longer adopt if we would stop to answer?
Thing most beautiful, powerful, precious, and sought after by every human being, love. Where does love begin? Like all things related to human being, from ourselves. Oscar Wilde said, loving yourself is the beginning of a lifelong love story. It is essential to love ourselves in order to love others. We do not create things, but we transform and share them. But without first experiencing them on ourselves, we will not be able to do it. How do you know that you're in love? You know you're in love when you don't want to fall asleep because reality is better than your dreams. Dr. Seuss. You know you are in tune when you appreciate the same things and you move in unison. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, love is not looking at one another, but looking together in the same direction. Love is care, constant attention. It is caring for the well-being of loved one. When you like a flower, you just pick it, but when you love a flower, you water it every day. Buddha. Yes, because unlike simple infatuation or attraction, love releases energy that is visible to the outside, of which perhaps you're not even aware of. Love is that thing you are on one side and she's on the other side, and strangers realize that you love each other. That's it. Massimo Troisi. Love has the ability to make attractive what would be considered defect. Tolstoy said, when you love someone, you love as it is and not as you would like to be. When you love, you feel a positive force that always seems to point you in the right direction. Van Gogh said, "What is done for love is done well." Love must be taken as it is, without however and without but. It is a fundamental choice which, like all choices, has consequences, but which we will be happy to take on because we have chosen to live fully. Love cannot be satisfied or outlive. It is yes or no. Those who do not have the courage to be hated do not deserve to be loved, said Arturo Graf. And love wants everything and is right, said Beethoven. Agostino di Pona, on the other hand, reminds us that love begins with a smile, grows with a kiss, and ends with a tear. Love is powerful, so much to be the only situation capable of being able to provoke conflicting emotion for the same feeling. When a love ends, one of the two suffers. If no one is suffering, it never started. If they both suffer, it never ended, said Marilyn Monroe. Love makes us tend towards giving more than receiving. We feel more compassionate and predisposed towards others. Robert Louis Stevenson said, "You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving." Love brings us back to the feeling of childhood, when we were surprised by something new. Love, however, has the ability to tune people in so much that thanks to the loved one we can discover things about ourselves that until then we were unaware of. André Breton used to say, "Love is when you meet someone who tells you something new about you." If we could then fall in love with love as such, regardless of whether or not there is a person to whom we can turn this feeling that binds us to the infinity, we could change our life forever and help others do the same. The day when the power of love surpasses the love of power, the world will be able to discover peace. Mahatma Gandhi. I wish you all possible love so that you will be free, happy, but above all, you will be yourself. Love is often scary because it breaks down the filters and unmasks us, showing us for what we are, wonderful beings. Do not be afraid to show the best part of us.